हो गया अमित? ठीक है, ऑन कर रहा हूँ. Good evening to all of you. Am I audible? Audible? Ravi? Not audible. Am I audible? Okay, okay, okay. So in last class we have started the discussion over the topic. The topic was American Revolution and American Independence Movement, right? So this is when we say American Revolution now, okay? So basically, when we talk about American Revolution in last class, we used some slides to understand the basic, okay, ideas. Now again we are going to discuss with the help of board work some of the most important concepts. So when we talk about American Revolution, so this phase started from 1765 and was continued till 1772. Clear? This is the first phase of American independence movement, and this is what a revolutionary phase. This is the revolutionary phase of America's independence movement. Okay, this timeline is very much important that I am drawing here, because with this help many confusions will be avoided. Otherwise, while doing self-study, there is a lot of confusion regarding this topic. Now, the second phase we see the second phase. After first phase, we see the second phase, and the second phase is after 1772. The second phase is after 1772, and again it is what American independence movement. This is what American independence movement. Clear? Just after this we see an important event, and that is in 1773. The event is dated on 16 December 1773. You don't need to remember the date, okay? 16 December 1773 was the date, okay? You don't need to remember the date. Year is 1773, and here there is an important event in history of US history that is known as Boston's Tea Party. You must have heard about this event. ये बहुत ही popular event है, Boston Tea Party, 1773. Clear? And then again, what we see? Some revolutionary activities again we see here. Again we see some important revolutionary activities and conflicts. Some important revolutionary activities and conflicts. And finally, what we see? Okay, there are important battles like Battle of Bunker Hill. As about battle, but Battle of Bunker Hill was an important battle. Finally, we see Declaration of Independence, and this Declaration of Independence of America, I have already discussed this concept with you in the last class, is on the date 4th July 1776. I've already discussed this with you. 4th July 1776. This is the Declaration of Independence. Then what will happen? I have told you earlier that 13 colonies came together. Got it? And they formed a nation, that is USA. So after this is a confederation. So obviously it will take time. Okay. So articles of confederation will be prepared, and finally by, okay, you can say that that Paris Treaty 1783, we can say that the task of revolution is completed. Okay. So the year is 1783. So again the task of revolution is completed in which year? 1783. But still the task of American constitutional development was to be done. So again, in America, there is another important event, that is American constitutional development. American constitutional development. Here we will not discuss all topics in detail. Only I am giving you a timeline that when you are reading books, these facts you will come across. Even in the NCERT books, you will find these facts. 1787, 1788, there are important development. 1789. So we see that American Constitution taking effect in the year 1789. Taking effect in the year 1789. But once the Constitution comes, America becomes an independent nation, okay, but not a modern nation. Why I'm saying not modern nation? Not modern nation because slavery was permitted by law. अगर आपने स्लेवरी को बाय लॉ परमिशन दे रखी है तो आप मॉडर्न कहाँ हो, नहीं हुए ना, राइट? सो स्लेवरी वाज परमिटेड बाय लॉ. So slavery issue plus many other issues. What happened? In America, a civil war was fought that is known as American Civil War, right? A civil war was fought between this period 1861 to 65. Civil war was fought. And here the main issue was slavery. Slavery was the main issue. Plus there are some other issues. Slavery plus other issues. Main issue is slavery. Plus there are some other issues also. Clear? This is called American Civil War. Slavery was the main issue here. And finally, 1865, what will happen? The conflict will come to an end. The Civil War ended. The Civil War ended. And after this, here we see that slavery was also abolished by law. Slavery was also abolished by law. Now, at this point of time, we can say that America was an independent country as well as it was a modern nation. So these are some of the facts. We don't need to enter into the details of all the facts, but now I am going to discuss with you some of the concepts and the ideas, and now then you will be able to understand American independence war, the issues that are related, what are the major, you can say that, causes here. All this you will be able to relate. In last class, what have we discovered? American colony, it was a native colony or it was a settlers colony? क्या था? Settlers colony. ये बात आपको समझ में आ गया? We already have discussed that when we talk about the Americans, so who are these Americans people? So these American people are coming from different cultural and ethnic background. Clear, but still they are bound together. Why they are bound together? Because the society is predominantly Christian, plus they have a common parental heritage and tradition, and that's why they are bounded together. Got it? Common ideals. देखो क्या होता है, दो चीजें हैं. Okay, if we are bounded together, there, for example, we all are together for what? A common idea. You are preparing for exam and I am guiding you. I am your coach, right? So we have a common future program. If I will guide you, if I will coach you, if I will train you, you will become IAS. Okay, so that will give me advantage also. ऐसा नहीं है कि सिर्फ आपको फायदा होगा. Okay, I was an UPSC aspirant. I could not clear this examination, but when my student will clear this examination, okay, there is a monetary benefit of that. But the second important advantage is मुझे लगेगा कि मैं कितनी बार एग्जाम क्लियर कर रहा हूँ. मेरी बात समझ गया ना? तो सोचो वो उस लॉस को कंपेंसेट करेगा कि नहीं. ठीक है, इट माइट बी पॉसिबल, बहुत सारे अच्छे बच्चे भी एग्जाम क्लियर नहीं कर पाते हैं, बट व्हेन माय स्टूडेंट्स विल क्लियर, दिस विल गिव मी द सेम फीलिंग, द सेम हैप्पीनेस. गॉट इट? सो वी ऑल आर बाउंड बाय अ कॉमन फ्यूचर प्रोग्राम. और जब इस तरह से रिलेशंस बिल्डअप होते हैं, क्लियर, सो दैट विल बी मोर प्रोग्रेसिव और नॉट? यस, मेरी बात समझ गया ना? अमेरिकन लोगों को जो चीज जोड़ के रख रही थी, द थिंग दैट वाज बाइंडिंग अमेरिकन पीपल वाज द सेम थिंग, idea of a common future program where they will get liberty, where there will be no any discrimination, where there will be a lot of economic opportunities. Clear? Plus they will enjoy a kind of religious freedom. So the American people, America was a colony of Britain, and the American people, the people who are living in this colony, were more progressive than the people who were living in the other countries of Europe. Got it? वहां से ज्यादा प्रोग्रेसिव. एंड अमेरिका इज हैविंग व्हाट? वास्ट नेचुरल रिसोर्सेज एज वेल. वास्ट नेचुरल रिसोर्सेज, राइट? सो इफ यू हैव अ लॉट ऑफ इकोनॉमिक रिसोर्सेज, you are having a progressive outlook, you are optimistic, you all are bounded by a common vision. ठीक है, कि we all are together for a common future program. If you all are believing in progressive ideals, American people were believing in the ideas that were promoted by Renaissance, the ideas that were promoted by age of enlightenment. Now in that condition, आप बताओ सबसे पहले आजाद होने वाला कॉलोनी अमेरिका ही तो बनेगा. Got it? This is the reason. अच्छा, in America, अच्छा देखो, फ्रेंच रिवॉल्यूशन आई हैव ऑलरेडी डिस्कस विद यू, जस्ट रिमेंबर द टॉपिक. डू यू रिकॉल समथिंग अबाउट द फ्रेंच सोसाइटी? कुछ याद आ रहा है? फ्रेंच सोसाइटी, वाज इट अ डिस्क्रिमिनेशन बेस्ड सोसाइटी? यस. Was there any hierarchical order in the French society? The answer is yes. Was it based on the system of class privileges? France याद आ रहा है? Yes, class privileges. Religious class was dominant. There was feudalism. आप समझ पा रहे हो मैं सोसाइटी क्यों बता रहा हूँ? क्वेश्चन बताया था मैंने यूपीएससी का, पॉलिटी का क्वेश्चन, हिस्ट्री से रिलेटेड था. तो ट्राई टू अंडरस्टैंड द डिफरेंसेस. फ्रेंच सोसाइटी में क्या था? देयर वाज अ सोशल हायरार्किकल स्ट्रक्चर. On the top there were some classes in this way, and the top classes like clergies, like the feudal class, they were having privileges. Commoners were having no any privileges. That was a non-privileged class. Very simple. Clear? And was there feudalism? Yes, there was feudalism in France. These things are progressive or regressive? Regressive. Was this feature present in American society? Yes or no? No. Just compare with Indian society. Society was hierarchical based or not? Yes. Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, Brahmins, priestly class were enjoying dominance. Religious orthodoxy. We Indians were fighting to protect religious orthodoxy. Dharm Sabha, 1830. Kahani yaad hai? We were fighting to protect that religious orthodoxy. Think about the religions. Okay. Medieval age. The idea of jihad, converting Darul Harb to Darul Islam. There was parallel revivalist movements in the Hindu society also, and revivalist movement in the Islamic society also. During freedom movement, right? Muslim community under the leadership of Muslim League and Jinnah was feeling insecure. They were trying to protect their minority rights. So where was that idea of a nation? It was missing. And America was not a nation, but still we are a nation. This idea was present in the mind of American people because they were fighting for the positive thing. कभी आपसे कोई पूछे कि why America was the first country to get free from this colonialism? 1765 to 83 ये टाइम पीरियड है. इंडिया तो तब गुलाम बनेगा जब अमेरिका आजाद हो रहा होगा. तो बहुत बड़ी बात है. The kind of sense of enlightenment, the nature of society, it all was okay having okay a different impact. Got it? So what was the main issue behind this okay American independence war or the movement? यहाँ तक आपको समझ में आया? Nature of American society. Here we have interlinked three concepts. First concept is nature of American society. Second is nature of Indian society. Nature of French society. Which society was more progressive? American society. Clear? Obviously, it was more progressive. There is no any if, there is no any but, there is no any doubt. And that's why the Constitution of America, when it will define secularism, it will be based on the parameters which have been defined by the society. When in India we will define the concept of secularism, so we will look at our historical and societal perspective ना. अमेरिका विल लुक, ऐसा तो नहीं कि अमेरिका अपना कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन बनाएगा तो इंडिया की सोसाइटी को देख के बनाएगा. नहीं, इंडिया अपना कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन बनाएगा तो अपनी सोसाइटी, अपनी हिस्ट्री को ध्यान में रख के बनाएगा. दैट्स वाई द मॉडल ऑफ सेक्युलरिज्म डिफर्स. क्लियर? फ्रांस हो गया, अमेरिका हो गया, इंडिया हो गया, द मॉडल इज नॉट द सेम. Yes, the basic features are the same, elements are the same, but there are some technical differences. This was the same question that was asked in the UPSC mains. Now, okay, now what were the main factors or the reasons behind this American Revolution? This we need to understand. Here we need to understand that what were the main factors or reasons, main factors or reasons behind American Revolution. What were the main factors or reasons behind American Revolution? This is one of the most important topic that I am going to discuss with you. अमेरिका में मुद्दा क्या था अमेरिकन रिवॉल्यूशन के पीछे? Right? So the first and the most important issue was okay. Just draw this sketch. America. Basically, we are talking about these 13 colonies. These 13 colonies, right? They were in the form of America. America was a British colony. America was a colony of Britain. This is Britain. America was a British colony. America was a British colony. And we all know the definition of a colony. Colony के definition तो सबको पता है ना. You all know the definition of colony. ठीक है. The main aspect is what? Economic exploitation. Remember the concepts that you have read in Indian history. सबसे पहला मुद्दा क्या है कॉलोनीज में? इकोनॉमिक एक्सप्लॉयटेशन. व्हेन ईस्ट इंडिया कंपनी एस्टैब्लिश इट्स रूल इन इंडिया, तो पहला टारगेट क्या है? इकोनॉमिक एक्सप्लॉयटेशन. Diwani rights, system of revenue collection. So what is the most important thing here is that since it is a colony of Britain, so Britain will do what? Britain will treat it exactly like a colony. Britain will treat it exactly like a colony. Britain will treat it exactly like a colony. But what is the important point in this colony? That here, okay, two-thirds of the population. How much population? Two-thirds of the population was of British origin. British origin. So what will be their expectation? They have come from Britain, so they want the same liberal and political rights, okay, that they see in Britain. They have the same expectations that here also we should have the same liberal and political rights that we see in Britain. That is the most important point, that they are expecting, read this, they were expecting, they were expecting same liberal, economic and political governance as in Britain, as in Britain, as in Britain. And what about these people? The level of political awareness is also high. The level of political awareness of these people is also high. Political awareness be high. The level of political awareness is also very high. They are familiar with the nature and system of British rule. They were already familiar with the progressive nature and system of British rule. They were already familiar with the progressive nature and system of British rule. Got it? They were already familiar. Now what will happen? They will realize that British government is doing what? Discrimination. British government is doing discrimination. It means the legislations which the British government is introducing here, the legislations that the British government was introducing here were discriminatory in nature, like it happens in the colonies. Legislations are discriminatory in nature, like it happened in India also. इंडिया में कौन कौन से डिस्क्रिमिनेटरी लेजिस्लेशंस थे इन द फील्ड ऑफ इकोनॉमी? यू ऑल नो. Promotion of British goods. Indian goods were discouraged. Unfair tariff policy was used. Clear? Okay. Unfair laws and legislations were introduced. Okay, to promote the British goods or the products. यही तो था ना. कितना आसान सा कॉन्सेप्ट है. That's what we see in India. Apply the same concept on America also. In America also, the British government will do what? British government will try to subordinate. British government will try to subordinate. Try to subordinate. Okay, American economy for the needs of British economy. The British government will try to subordinate American economy for the needs of British economy. The government will try to do this. Clear? For this, they will do what? For this, they will do what? They will introduce discriminatory laws. For example, unfair tariff policy. Unfair tariff policy. Okay. High stamp duties. High stamp duties. Okay. Discouraging the local or indigenous trade and commerce of the American people. American लोगों का जो trade and commerce था, to discourage those trade and commerce activities. Because when it will be discouraged, who will get the ultimate advantage or the benefit? British will get the ultimate advantage or the benefit. Clear? Now I will give some example. It means what? Which issue we are discussing? Economic issue. Economic issue of conflict. And on the basis of this, the people who are living in this American colony, they will say that, okay, British rule in American colony is what? un-British in nature. They will say this, that British rule in American colony is what? It's un-British in nature. It's not British in nature. It's un-British. British rule in American colony. This is what? Un-British. ये क्या है? Un-British rule. Now, I will give you example of some discriminatory. Read this. Discriminatory. Discriminatory. I will give you example of some discriminatory legislations and practices. Discriminatory legislations and practices. Here I will give you some example of this discriminatory legislation and practices. Here, for example, navigational acts. Navigational acts. Navigational acts. Here we are going to discuss the very basic meaning. बहुत डिटेल में हम नहीं जाएंगे. Navigational acts, देखो जब कोई कानून आता है, there are multiple revisions also. जैसे in GST also we see, तो in the same way navigational acts of 1651, ये सारा रट्टा नहीं मारना, इतना ही याद रखो. Navigational acts 66, right? Sorry, 60, 66. So these are the navigational acts. Century कौन सी है? 17th century. इतना हमने याद कर लिया. First half of second half. Second half. So there is no need to memorize there. Simply remember second half of 17th century. We see navigational acts. क्या है ये navigational act? सुन के हैरान रह जाओगे. देखो क्या है. This is Britain and this is America. 13 colonies of America. Here we are talking about these 13 colonies. Okay, all these are the colonies of Britain. Now this law says that, clear, if you are doing any import from America, इसको हम अमेरिका लिखते हैं. If you are doing any import from America and Britain, if you are doing any import, clear, if you are doing any import or you are doing any export, if you are doing any import or if you are doing any export, this will be done only with the help of British ships. Right? This British cargo ships, British ships. This will be done only with the help of British ships. Clear? British ships. It means everything will be monitored and controlled by who? British. Basically, at that time, the goods like tobacco बताया था आपको, tobacco, coffee, okay, cocoa, plus rice, all these are important products in America. So the British did what? They developed monopoly over the American market. It means whatever the tobacco that you are producing in America, the coffee that you are producing in America, okay, who will purchase? British will purchase. There is no any other competitor in the market. So जो इंडिया में हमने पढ़ा था, they monopolize the Indian market. In the same way here what they are doing, they have monopolized the American market. Now who is the sole purchaser? British are the sole purchaser. Okay, so will they purchase these goods on the price which they will dictate? The answer is yes. And why British ships only? Because you will eliminate other competitors from the market completely. This is the idea. Clear? So this means that why this was done? This was done further. Dekho, already here in American colonies, British had already monopolized the market. British had already monopolized the market. Already monopolized the market. But here the British origin people are in largest number. They have already monopolized the market. So they will bring this rule, Navigation Act. And by this, okay, that monopolization will further be strengthened. वो monopoly और भी ज़्यादा मजबूत हो जाएगी. This will strengthen the monopoly. Plus this will be helpful in doing what? A strict monitoring and control. A strict watch over the export and import. कि Americans ये प्रोडक्ट किसी और को एक्सपोर्ट ना कर सके. It means you are eliminating competition from the market. So what about the seller? Seller will be in a condition of profit, advantage, or he will be in a condition of loss. Loss. मैं कॉफी बेच रहा हूँ अमेरिका में, मैं अमेरिकन हूँ, अमेरिकन कॉलोनी में रह रहा हूँ. I am a person of British origin. Now if I have to sell my coffee to only British, there are no any other buyer. So in this condition, what will happen? Okay, I will not get, okay, the fair prices of my product. So this is one point. Got it? So this is the one of the most important point. Got it? So in this way, the discrimination was promoted. Got it? Discrimination was being promoted. Now there are other law. Please ask your question. No, no, it's not like that. Okay, the situation is a little bit different here, right? Okay, the government is making laws and legislations for the American colonies were in the direct control of British rule. जैसे जो हमारे यहाँ 1858 में हुआ वो उनके यहाँ शुरू से हो रहा था, राइट? ओके, इट वाज अंडर द डायरेक्ट कंट्रोल ऑफ द ब्रिटिश रूल, ठीक है ना? तो इट वाज लाइक दैट, ठीक है, ये वैसे ही हो रहा था, राइट? गॉट दिस पॉइंट? दिस इज व्हाट नेविगेशनल एक्ट, ठीक है ना? नाउ डिस्क्रिमिनेटरी लॉज एंड प्रैक्टिसेस, देयर आर सम अदर एग्जांपल्स, okay, and we must know about that. So right, next is Commodities Act 1660, and by this you can easily understand Commodities Act. The second act is Commodities Act, and these acts were passed where? In British Parliament. ये सारा का सारा कहाँ पास होगा? In British Parliament. All legislations will be approved from the British Parliament. Okay, Commodities Act. Now what this Commodities Act is saying? It is saying that all English colonies, here the English colonies are 13 in number. So it's saying that all English colonies should export their commodities like sugar, tobacco, cotton, indigo, and dye to, okay, they can export their commodity to England. मेरी बात समझ गया ना? This is what Commodities Act. It means you are again trying to monopolize, ठीक है ना? Market here. So write this point also, right? Okay. नहीं नहीं, एक देखो, यहाँ पे एक करेक्शन है, लिटिल बिट करेक्शन. देखो, Commodities Act means what? A list, write this. Commodities Act means a list of certain commodities will be given. Write this. List of certain commodities. ठीक है, आपको एक लिस्ट दी गई, list of certain commodities. Now in this list, for example, I have written sugar, ठीक है, I have written tobacco. Write this. Sugar, tobacco. I have written what? Cotton, sugar, tobacco, cotton, indigo dyes, etc. Okay, this list was revised from time to time and new items were added in this list. पहले तो ये list समझ लो. And now what you have to do? Suppose we all are the American merchants, ठीक है? So when we will sell our goods, this law says that suppose this is Britain and suppose these all are the colonies of Britain. These all are the colonies of Britain. Got it? So what you have to do? Clear? There is two options. First is what? Clear? Who has established monopolistic control over the market? Britain. How it has established? This is very interesting. That you cannot sell your good. You cannot sell your good to the you cannot sell your good without the intermediary of British people to the British colonies. दूसरी British colonies को आप अपने goods sell नहीं कर सकते. ध्यान से समझो. Suppose there are 13 colonies. All 13 colonies are the British colonies. Now colony number A cannot sell its goods to the colony number B without the British involvement. मेरी बात समझ गया ना? And suppose अगर आप colonies से बाहर का trade देखते हो, if you are exporting your good to somewhere else, so you will use ship. Ship तो चाहिए Atlantic cross करने के लिए. And which पहला एक्ट क्या कह रहा है? नेविगेशन एक्ट, कि आप कौन सा शिप यूज करोगे? You are going to use which ship? British ship. So if you are selling it to someone else also, you will have to pay a certain amount of fee to the British people. Okay, in this case your export will be expensive, so it will be better to sell the products to the British at the cheaper prices. तो बताओ लोग परेशान होंगे कि नहीं? कितना दिमाग लगाया, right? So this is the point here, that at several times the list was expanded. सीधी सी बात है कि this is affecting the rights of the American people, those people who are living in the colonies, and it is hampering their trade and commerce. They don't have the right to do free trade and commerce. All the conditions are dictated by the British people. This is one point. Now write another act, that is Staples Act. ये पूरा explain करने का मौका नहीं मिलेगा. You will write example of discriminatory act. Example क्या हो गया? Navigational Act. The second is Commodities Act. Staples Act. एग्जाम में इससे ज्यादा लिख ही नहीं पाओगे. मैं आपको समझा इसलिए रहा हूं कि रट्टा ना मारना पड़े और आप उस टॉपिक के एसेंस को समझ जाओ. Now you are understanding the essence कि how they were economically exploiting. So I am discussing for this purpose कि हमें rote learning ना करनी पड़े, right? For this reason I am discussing. The third point here is Staples Act. Write this. This is Staples Act. ये third point, Staples Act 1663. And this act is also very interesting. ठीक है? देखो ये क्या कहता है Staples Act. Suppose these are American colonies. Okay. This is Europe. And Europe, there is a country, Britain. There are other countries as well. दूसरी countries भी तो हैं. ठीक है? Now, suppose any other country of Europe want to export something to any of these American colonies. The total number of colonies is 30. Suppose any other country of Britain. Suppose this is France. And France want to sell something or export something to American colony. So France cannot directly sell or France cannot directly export. France directly American colonies को sell नहीं कर सकता और export नहीं कर सकता. Or these American colonies cannot directly sell or export to France. This was prohibited. आप direct नहीं बेच सकते. You need middleman. And what is that middleman? तो देखो. If France want to sell something to American colonies, so French products will be brought to British port. Suppose this is British port. And in British port, you will pay a duty and that product will be stapled. इसका मतलब उस पे stamp लग जाएगा. And then it will be exported to the colony. It means from France it will reach to British port and from British port it will reach to the colonies. This, and here you are paying what? A duty. Here you are paying what? A duty. Okay, and then your product is, okay, stapled. And then you are further exporting it to American colonies. मतलब कुल मिला जुला के नाक को यूं पकड़ने की बजाय यूं पकड़. ठीक है कि पहले you cannot sell directly to the American colony. First the good will be sent to the British port, then you will pay a fee. वहां से port authorities approve करेंगे तब जाएगा. It will be expensive, only expensive, or it will be delayed also. Delayed. अच्छा मान लो मेरे को कोई प्रोडक्ट चाहिए. ठीक है, अब मैं ऑनलाइन क्लास ले रहा हूँ. सपोज मेरा ये हेडफोन खराब हो गया, स्पीकर खराब हो गया, माइक्रोफोन खराब हो गया, एंड आई वांट टू परचेज इट. तो आई विल परचेज फ्रॉम दैट सेलर. ठीक है, हु इज एबल टू डिलीवर दिस प्रोडक्ट वेरी फास्ट. ध्यान समझना. डिलेड डिलीवरी आई विल नॉट एक्सेप्ट. ठीक है, एंड हियर व्हाट इज हैपनिंग? Delayed as well as expensive. So this is making the American trade delayed as well as expensive. तो ब्रिटिश का कहना है कि या तो हम ही कर लेंगे ट्रेड एंड कॉमर्स या फिर हम इंटरमीडियरीज बनेंगे. आपके ट्रेड एंड कॉमर्स को क्या कर देंगे? डिलेड और एक्सपेंसिव. लास्ट में आपको किसके पास आना पड़ेगा? यू विल हैव टू कम टू, ओके, ब्रिटिश. सोचो यार कौन इतने लफड़े में पड़े. हम सीधा सीधा किसके साथ ट्रेड कर लेते हैं? ब्रिटेन के साथ ट्रेड कर लेते हैं. दिस इज डिस्क्रिमिनेटरी लॉज. हाउ दे आर डूइंग डिस्क्रिमिनेशन. ओके, हाउ दे आर ट्राइंग टू यूज अमेरिकन इकोनॉमी फॉर देयर बेनिफिट, फॉर देयर गेन. इज इट क्लियर नाउ? ओके, द नेक्स्ट इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट. ओके, enforcement act, right? Fourth, enforcement act. Enforcement act. Year is 1696. ईयर याद नहीं रखना है, बस कॉन्सेप्ट समझो. इन्फोर्समेंट एक्ट क्या है? सपोज दीज कॉलोनीज हैव शिप्स आल्सो. इनके पास भी शिप है, बोट्स है फॉर ट्रेड एंड कॉमर्स. दे आर मेंटेनिंग शिप्स एंड बोट्स. क्लियर? सो इट वाज एसेंशियल टू, or you can say that there was a mandatory registration process for all these colonial ships. आपके पास जितने भी शिप्स हैं उनका क्या करना था, ब्रिटिश पोर्ट अथॉरिटीज के पास मैंडेटरी रजिस्ट्रेशन कराना था। एंड यू विल हैव टू सेंड देम रेगुलर अपडेट्स कि अभी मेरी शिप कहाँ पे है। जीपीएस तो नहीं लगाना था, लगा हुआ था, बट आपको बताना था कि आपकी शिप अभी कहाँ पे है। इट मीन्स व्हाट ब्रिटिश आर डूइंग, दे आर मॉनिटरिंग ईच एंड एवरी एक्टिविटी। ठीक है, कि क्या आपने ट्रेड किया, कहाँ किसको क्या सेल किया, कहाँ से क्या परचेस किया, उसमें से हमारा हिस्सा मिला कि नहीं मिला। व्हाट डज इट मीन, American colonies economy are subjugated under the British economy. इतनी सी बात है। So this Enforcement Act is what you can write here, right? Okay, that mandatory registration for all the ships and boats that were used by these colonies. Mandatory registration of all the ships and boats that were used by the people in these colonies, right? Mandatory registration of all the ships and boats that were used by the people of these colonies. Clear? Right, next point. Acha, why this was done? Government will say that we are doing this to stop smuggling activities. But actually, why they are doing this? Okay, they are keeping a strict watch or eye on you. So write this in the name of, in the same part you can write this in the name of, in the name of, in the name of stopping smuggling activities, in the name of stopping smuggling activities. Right. A strict watch or regulation over British exports or over trade and commerce of the colonies. A strict watch and regulation. इसके बाद देखो अगला एग्जाम्पल, राइट, एग्जाम्पल नंबर 5. व्हाट इज द एग्जाम्पल नंबर 5? एक कहानी याद है आपको इंडियन हिस्ट्री की? When in India the development of railway took place, British did not established, okay, heavy industries in India. उन्होंने आयरन एंड स्टील नहीं लगवाया. They were needing it. आयरन एंड स्टील चाहिए था for the development of railways, but they were importing it from Britain. इंडिया में वैसी कोई इंडस्ट्री नहीं लगाई. ये हुआ था ना? Why? Because if in India you will promote industrialization, so this will give you a tough competition. कॉलोनी आपको कंपटीशन देने लगेगी, तो कॉलोनी को आगे नहीं बढ़ाना है. मेरी बात समझ गया ना? And what here they are doing, British government will make a list of some goods, clear, and they will say that colony people are not allowed to manufacture these goods. Only who will manufacture? British will manufacture. So if the colony people will also start manufacturing those British goods, what will happen? Those manufacturing activities will start giving challenge to British industrialization. So they will put restriction on the manufacture of some of the goods in the colonies. ऐसा नहीं था कि केवल इंडिया के साथ भेदभाव किया था. इस मामले में अंग्रेज बड़े अच्छे थे, सबके साथ भेदभाव किया. Right? All the colonies were treated alike. Got it? So at this point that British people also import certain restrictions on the manufacture of certain commodities. They also imposed certain restrictions on the manufacture of certain commodities, on the manufacture of certain commodities in the colonies. In the colonies, restrictions on the manufacture of certain commodities in the colonies. Clear? Write one more point here, that this was done so that the colonies could not give a challenge. This was done so that the colonies could not give a challenge to the manufacturing activities of Britain in future. This was done so that the colonies could not give a challenge to the manufacturing activities of, okay, Britain in future. Manufacturing activities of Britain in future. How many points? 4, 5. Now write one more. Stamp Act 1765. Stamp Act 1765. स्टैम्प एक्ट 1765। ठीक है, देखो 1765 का स्टैम्प एक्ट क्यों है? 7 years war was fought during which time period? Do you remember? बताया था क्लास में, एकदम याद रहना चाहिए. सम रेफरेंसेस आर वेरी मच इंपॉर्टेंट, वी मस्ट नो दिस. दिस इज द टाइम पीरियड ऑफ 7 year war ना. 7 year war, clear? British French, British military expenses. This is what? Economic expenses. They want to compensate it. पैसा, British were traders. अगर पैसा खर्च करेंगे तो वो रिकवर भी करेंगे. तो रिकवर करने का सबसे अच्छा तरीका क्या है? कॉलोनीज. फ्रॉम कॉलोनीज यू कैन कंपेंसेट योर लॉस. So what they will do in these American colonies, in order to increase or in order to increase the collection of revenue, उनको पैसे की जरूरत थी कि नहीं? What is this year? Stamp Act. देखो 1765. 7 year war ended in which year? 1763. It means that after this war British needed money. उनको चाहिए पैसा. In order to increase the revenues, what they did, okay, they increased the stamp duty on some official documents. जैसे today also we take license, deeds, bonds. कहीं पे भी क्या होता है? लीज वीज कराते हैं तो हमें स्टैम्प ड्यूटी पे करना होता है ना. अगर गवर्नमेंट ये स्टैम्प ड्यूटी दुगुना कर दे, तीन गुना कर दे, 2 times 3 times, तो इससे गवर्नमेंट का रेवेन्यू बढ़ जाएगा कि नहीं? बढ़ जाएगा ना. द सेम वाज डन. दिस इज कॉल्ड स्टैम्प ड्यूटी एक्ट. Okay, so you can write here that, okay, previously 7 years war was fought. Previously 7 years war was fought. Okay, previously 7 years war was fought. 1756 to 1763. Previously 7 years war was fought. Right, next point. Okay, British suffered huge economic loss in this war. British suffered huge economic loss in this war. British suffered huge economic loss in this war. Right, next point. In order to compensate their loss, in order to in order to compensate their loss, they increased, they increased, okay, they increased stamp duties. They increased the amount of or the fee of stamp duty in these colonies. Fee of stamp duty in these colonies. ठीक है ना? They increased that fee of stamp duty in these colonies. अच्छा देखो, right? Example: stamp duty on license, deeds, lease, etc. were increased. Stamp duty on license, okay, deeds, and all this will be increased. 1765. Why I have written this here? अच्छा, this will create problems for the people. Okay, क्या ये लोगों से पूछ के किया गया? नहीं. Where the representatives of American people did this? No. Who was doing this? British Parliament. British Parliament was doing this. Now look at the uh, first sketch which I have discussed with you. The beginning of American Revolution is in which year? Look at the sketch. 1765. Stamp duty in which year? 1765. लोगों ने कहा यार अब हद से ज्यादा बात हो गई, अब बर्दाश्त नहीं करेंगे. ठीक है, बहुत हो गया. And what will happen as a result of this decision? The people in these colonies, they will start protesting. Merchants, lawyers, everyone will come forward. Okay, all these people, traders, merchants, they all will come and they all will start protesting against these economic injustices, against the discriminatory legislations in the field of economy. Got it? These 13 colonies, in 13 colonies में भी एक administrative system था. Got it? And they were connected with the British Parliament. All the people in these 13 colonies, they will come together and they will start protesting about these injustices. So write this point, that colonial protest started over this issue, and very soon colonial protest started over this issue, and very soon colonial protest started over this issue, and very soon this colonial protest was joined by, very soon this colonial protest was joined by very soon this colonial protest was joined by the people of all the colonies, 13 colonies. Very soon this colonial protest was joined by the people of these 13 colonies. Got it? The protest will be joined by the people of these 13 colonies. Okay. Right, next point. Revolutionary organization. जैसे इंडिया में क्या था, HRA, HSRA, in the same way, right? This a revolutionary organization or a political organization. The name of this revolutionary political organization was Sons of Liberty. The name of this revolutionary political organization was Sons of Liberty. It also started opposing it. Sons of Liberty, this is a revolutionary organization. It also started opposing the colonial discrimination. Colonial discrimination. It also started opposing the colonial discrimination. Because इससे लोगों का कौन सा अधिकार छीन रहा था? Liberty. The people were not deciding, the British Parliament was deciding. Property. So the people raised slogan, and what is that slogan? Write this: liberty, property, and no stamps. It means a stamp act was opposed. So write this: the people raised slogan, and the slogan was liberty, property, liberty, property, and no stamps. The people raised this slogan: liberty, property, and no stamps. अब आप समझ गए ना, नो स्टैम्प से क्या मतलब निकल रहा है? स्टैम्प ड्यूटी का अपोजिशन. सो द पीपल रेज दिस स्लोगन. क्लियर? राइट, नेक्स्ट पॉइंट. Okay, these revolutionary activities mounted pressure on the British government. These revolutionary activities mounted pressure on the British government. Okay, because the people in these colonies were also boycotting now the British goods. The same strategy that we used in Indian national movement. Now they have also started doing what? They have also started boycotting British goods. British goods को भी boycott करने लगे. Boycott strategy was followed. Okay. They also started boycotting the British goods. Clear? Right, next point. Some reforms were introduced. Some reforms were introduced. Some reforms were introduced, but these reforms failed. These reforms failed. Some reforms were introduced, but these reforms failed. अब ये reforms का technical मतलब भी है. Townsend program, Granville program, I am not discussing that. वो मैं आपको जानबूझ के नहीं डिस्कस कर रहा हूँ. Got it? British introduced some reforms, but these reforms failed. अब इसमें एक सबसे important act क्या है? Boston Tea Party. That I told you that this is an important act. So let's discuss about that Boston Tea Party. So write this: Boston Tea Party that I have discussed with you. What is this Boston Tea Party? Okay. So this is the event now, 1773, Boston Tea Party. So write this: Boston Tea Party. Boston's Tea Party. Boston's Tea Party. Right. It was a revolutionary act. Boston's Tea Party. It was a revolutionary act. ओके, रिवॉल्यूशनरी एक्ट. ये एक रिवॉल्यूशनरी एक्ट था, बोस्टन टी पार्टी. और क्या था? तो देखो कहानी क्या थी. वी ऑल नो दैट ईयर वाज 1772. इंडिया में रेगुलेटिंग एक्ट कब आया था? 1773. व्हाई रेगुलेटिंग एक्ट इन इंडिया वाज इंट्रोड्यूस्ड? बिकॉज कंपनी को घाटा हो गया था. कंपनी वाज फेसिंग लॉस, bankruptcy. Okay, company demanded some loans from the British government. Government said that yes, we will do you help, we will give some loan, but we will also regulate the affairs of East India Company. Warren Hastings was sent to India. तो ये वही टाइम है जब कंपनी को क्या हो रहा था? लॉस हो रहा था. EIC was on the verge of bankruptcy. ठीक है ना? Now what happened? Okay, company asked for loan from the British government. Company asked for some monetary help and support from the British government. Got it? And the same company has also monopoly over trade on some of the items. कई जगह पे, ऐसा नहीं इंडिया के अलावा भी the company had got रिलैक्सेशंस मेनली ओवर द सेल ऑफ द टी। ठीक है, जैसे इंडिया के साथ अगर चाय का ट्रेड कर रही है कंपनी, तो चाय ब्रिटेन लेके जाएगी ना, वो चाय यूरोपियन कंट्रीज में जाएगा कि नहीं, जाएगा ना। ओके, सो दिस ऑल वाज हैपनिंग। ठीक है ना। अब इसमें क्या था, ठीक है, राइट दिस पॉइंट दैट 1772 was the year when was East India Company was on the verge of bankruptcy or it was facing challenge. Verge of bankruptcy or it was facing challenge. Okay, right, next point. In the same year 1772, right, okay, all import duties all import duties on tea was revised. all important all import duties on the tea was revised. सारी पुरानी ड्यूटी फिर से क्या की गई, रिवाइज की गई। ओके, राइट, नेक्स्ट पॉइंट। all import duties on the tea was revised. अच्छा, जब क्राइसिस में आप होते हो तो अपने रेट्स को रिवाइज करते हो कि नहीं। द कंपनी वाज डूइंग द सेम, इट वाज रिवाइजिंग इट्स इंपोर्ट ड्यूटीज। क्लियर। तो अब क्या होगा, रिवाइजिंग मींस क्या होगा कि द नंबर ऑफ इंपोर्ट ड्यूटीज विल बी लो। ठीक है ना। सो राइट दिस, द इंपोर्ट ड्यूटी विल बी लोअर्ड, द नंबर ऑफ इंपोर्ट ड्यूटी विल बी लोअर्ड। केवल 3 इंपोर्ट ड्यूटीज लगी हुई थी, द नंबर ऑफ इंपोर्ट ड्यूटी वाज नाउ लोअर्ड। Right, next point. The tea consignment was sent to New York, Philadelphia. The tea consignment was sent to New York, Philadelphia, and Massachusetts. ठीक है? The tea consignment were sent to New York, Philadelphia, and Massachusetts. Okay. अब ये घटना कहाँ है, मैसाचुसेट्स की, राइट। द कंपनी शिप्स और द ब्रिटिश शिप्स laden with tea entered the Boston harbor. Okay, the company ships or the British ships laden with sea entered Boston harbor. Boston harbor. Got it? और यहाँ पे क्या हुआ, राइट, वन मोर पॉइंट, राइट, revolutionaries who were affiliated with the party Sons of Liberty, जिसके बारे में पहले बता चुका हूँ। Revolutionaries who were affiliated or who were associated with the party, the name of that party was Sons of Liberty. Sons of Liberty, right. They painted their faces or the with covered faces, right, with covered faces. Okay, they boarded the ship and they threw about 15,000 worth pounds tea into the sea. ठीक है, they thrown all this tea into the sea worth 15,000 pounds. ठीक है, this was thrown into the sea. तो ये क्या था, it was a revolutionary act. Got it? It was a revolutionary act. 15,000 pound worth, okay, tea was thrown into the ship, into the sea, and this event is known as Boston's Tea Party. This event is known as Boston's Tea Party. This event is known as Boston's Tea Party. Got it? Now, if I ask you that by this discussion, what have you learned? क्या सीखा आपने? That in American Revolution, what was the main cause? Main cause was the economic cause. ये बात आपको समझ में आई ना? In India, इंडिया में आ जाओ, the system of exploitation, what was it only economic? No. India में system of exploitation, was it only economic? No. When we were fighting for independence, many other issues were also involved. But in America, which is the most prominent issue? That we are discriminated. Okay, no representation, no taxation without representation. ध्यान से तो देखो यहाँ पे भी क्या है, no taxation, ये भी economic issue हो गया. No taxation without representation. You must have heard this. No taxation without representation. सो इकोनॉमिक इशू, फ्रांस में क्या था, system of privileges. Economic issue was also one factor, but here which is the more dominant factor? Economic issue. Plus what is the immediate cause? तो stamps duty से relate कर, 7 year war was the immediate cause. गवर्नमेंट ने अपने लॉस को कंपेंसेट करने के लिए क्या किया, उल्टे सीधे पॉलिसीज लानी शुरू कर दी, वहां के लोगों से और भी ज्यादा पैसा वसूलने की कोशिश शुरू कर दी. Obviously it will have an adverse impact, it will not give a good message, इससे एक अच्छा मैसेज नहीं मिलेगा. Got it? So this is what American, okay, revolution or American independence. These are some basic ideas that you need to, ठीक है ना, इतनी चीजें आपको समझनी है. Whenever someone asks you the what were the reasons for the American War of Independence, so you will say that British colonialism, right? There are various uh, aspects of this British colonialism. These 13 colonies were treated in a discriminated manner, but the most and important, or you can say that the most dominant form of exploitation was, or the most dominant issue was the economic causes. Clear? And it was triggered by the 7 year war. Okay, many previously also many discriminatory laws were there, economic laws were there, legislations were there, but what happened, 7 year war and the stamp duty, this triggered this American War of Independence. Clear? The issues are not like the issues in France, the issues are not exactly like the issues in America, because here American people are a little bit more progressive in comparison to the, okay, other colonies. And that's why this is the one reason that America got independence very early, right? Two-thirds of the people were the British origin people. So these are the simple ideas that we need to think, okay, in this topic. तो ये बात आपको समझ में आई? So when America will become an independent country, so its focus will be where? To develop economic activities. Its focus will be where? To develop a kind of economy that is market economy. It will adopt which political system? Democracy. It will go forward towards capitalism. It will bring market economy, and the participation of US in First and Second World War was also one motivating factor. Was now US want to promote its economic interest. जब तक कॉलोनीज रहेंगी, कॉलोनीज तो किसी ना किसी कंट्री की है, जैसे इंडिया वाज अ कॉलोनी ऑफ ब्रिटेन, तो कैसे यूएस ट्रेड कर पाएगा इंडिया में? तो जरूरी क्या था कि कॉलोनियलिज्म खत्म हो जाए. When India will be a free and independent country, so Indians will have the choice to decide कि हम किसके साथ ट्रेड करेंगे, विथ इंडिया, विथ ब्रिटेन और विथ यूएस. मेरी बात समझ गया ना? When many countries from Asia and Africa, they will get independence, now they will have the option to choose अपना raw materials किसे बेचेंगे. But when you are a colony, you don't have the choice. तो फर्स्ट वर्ल्ड वॉर में यूएस ने क्या कहा था, याद आया कुछ? राइट टू सेल्फ डिटर्मिनेशन फॉर द पीपल हु आर लिविंग इन द कॉलोनीज. व्हाई राइट टू सेल्फ डिटर्मिनेशन? कॉलोनी के लोग तय करेंगे कि हमारा पॉलिटिकल सिस्टम कैसा होगा, हम कैसा ट्रेड एंड कॉमर्स करेंगे, किसको एक्सपोर्ट करना है, किसको इंपोर्ट करना है. ऑल दिस विल बी डिसाइडेड बाय whom? It will be decided by the people who are living in the colonies. So are you getting what I mean to say? Clear? So there is a reason, there is a logical reason behind all these things. Clear? Role of US in First World War, role of US in Second World War, इन सब के पीछे हमें बहुत सारी ऐसी चीजों को समझने की जरूरत है. Now another important part here is, okay, significance of American War of Independence. But before discussing significance, I will discuss another issue, that is American Civil War. बहुत डिटेल में आपको नहीं ले जाऊंगा, but Civil War I will discuss. That is very important point to understand, to know. Okay, so right, next topic, that is American Civil War. And lastly, I will discuss the significance, which is one of the most important part of this chapter. So right, this American Civil War, this we are going to discuss. Clear? American Civil War. What are the issues involved? Clear? 1861 to 1865, right? Civil War. 1861 to 1865. Civil War. Civil War में क्या क्या issues है? ठीक है? Why Civil War? What are the main issues? तो मैंने कहा था Okay, right. Point one. When America becomes independent, when America becomes independent, when America becomes independent, right? Slavery was permitted by law. When America becomes independent, slavery was permitted by law. Slavery was permitted by law. When America became independent, slavery was permitted by law. Okay, slavery system was not abolished. Slavery was permitted by law. Slavery system was not abolished. Slavery was permitted by law and the slavery system was not abolished. Clear? Right, next point. Okay. American Civil War that was fought between 1861 and 1865 was fought mainly, it was fought mainly on the issue of, it was fought mainly on the issue of slavery. It was fought mainly on the issue of slavery. Okay? Issue of slavery. Got it? Now, after the 1776, now we have come here directly to 1861. अब हम सीधे सीधे कहाँ आ गए हैं? 1860 to 1865. 1861 to 1865. When the colonies signed the document, the total number of colonies is 13. They signed the document and they became United States of America. जैसे when India becomes independent, ठीक है, फिर स्टेट रिऑर्गेनाइजेशन होता है, सब कुछ होता है, तो फिर हमारे पास एक स्ट्रक्चर आता है 14+6 का, 14 स्टेट प्लस 6 यूटीज. बट आज नंबर ऑफ स्टेट्स इज मोर और नॉट, ज्यादा है कि नहीं? ठीक है. अब यहाँ पर प्रॉब्लम क्या थी कि अमेरिकन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन वाज देयर एंड देयर वर डिफरेंट टाइप ऑफ डिबेट्स, कंट्रोवर्सीज इन दिस अमेरिकन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन. उसमें भी बहुत सारी दिक्कतें चल रही थी. न्यू स्टेट्स वेर बीइंग फॉर्म्ड, क्लियर, and how to incorporate these new states in this system of confederation, this was also a matter of controversy. इसके लिए थोड़ा अमेरिकन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन पढ़ना पड़ेगा, पॉलिटी में पढ़ोगे उसको. क्लियर? सो this was a major issue of debate in America, that the provinces should be given representation in the Congress on the basis of what? On the basis of population or on the basis of equality. This was a major issue of debate. Suppose, clear, we are saying that these are the states, ये सारे states हैं, ठीक है, मिलके इन्होंने क्या बनाया है? एक confederation बनाया है. Now what is the problem? Okay, that in American Congress, clear, their representation will be based on what? Their population, or their population, or the second point idea is basis of equality. Suppose there are 30 states, so all should be treated equally, or the bigger states having larger population will have greater role. इस तरह का debate चला रहा था, and finally a decision was taken, and the decision was that in Senate or the upper chamber, the states will have equal representation. जितने भी states हैं, bigger, smaller does not matter, उन सब का representation क्या होगा? Equal. But in lower chamber, that is known as House of Representatives, okay, their representation will be based on the issue of population. तो इस तरह से इस झगड़े को खत्म किया गया. It means there were many such controversies, okay, and solutions were also find out to solve these controversies, but one controversy will become the bigger controversy. ये तो एक controversy मैंने बताया, ऐसे बहुत सारे controversy. One controversy will become bigger controversy, and what is that controversy? Right, issue of slaves. यही बन जाता है बड़ा मुद्दा, issue of slaves. This controversy will become a bigger controversy. ठीक है, this controversy will become the bigger controversy. Okay, now why this controversy is bigger controversy? So here we see what, that in American states, clear, northern states and southern states, इस तरह का एक division हो जाएगा. Northern states and southern states, northern states and southern states. Clear? Now, in northern states, you can say that industrialization, or it was industrialized. it was more industrialized. And in southern states, right, plantation industries are more important. Plantation industries are more important. यहाँ पे industrialization हो गया, machines have come, factory system of production is there. But here what we see, plantation industries. Now tell me one thing, that the labor or the manpower is required where? In northern states or in southern states? कहाँ पे manpower हो? Southern states में, because in plantation industries you need what? Okay, so in plantation industries you need more labor. So write this, human labor. Human labor is important here. Okay, and if this human labor is in the form of slaves, so it is cheaper also. अगर ये slaves के रूप में है, so it is not only important but it is cheaper also. ठीक है, slavery system के form में है तो it's cheaper also. Plantation industry, it's cheaper also. Now the southern states will do what? The southern states will demand or justify, they will demand that the slavery system must be maintained. इनका डिमांड क्या था कि slavery system is justified and it must be continued. It should not be restricted. It should not be restricted. This is their main demand. On the other side, these North American states were saying that slavery system is not good on moral basis also, and they did not justify slavery system, and they will say that slavery system must be abolished. They are saying that this slavery system must be abolished. Must be abolished. So this is one contradiction. Clear? One contradiction. Northern states are saying that slavery system should be permitted. Southern states are saying that slavery system should be abolished. दूसरा, अब देखो इसी के साथ साथ यहाँ पे एक दूसरा एंगल भी है, और दूसरा एंगल क्या है? इकोनॉमिक इशू. स्लेवरी इशू के साथ साथ इकोनॉमिक इशू है कि नहीं? व्हाट इज द इकोनॉमिक इशू? देखो, इन नॉर्दर्न स्टेट्स अमेरिकन इंडस्ट्रियलाइजेशन वाज प्रोग्रेसिंग. इंडस्ट्रियलाइजेशन प्रोग्रेस हो रहा है, ठीक है. अच्छा बताओ, इफ गवर्नमेंट विल गिव रिलैक्सेशन to the shipping industries, so who will get benefited from these relaxations? Northern states. Northern states will be benefited. So there were some economic reforms which were demanded by the northern states. Okay, and if the government accept those economic reforms, so this will directly benefit which part? Northern states part. So this is also one issue of you can say that conflict. ये भी एक conflict का मुद्दा था. Okay, they are demanding what? Protection of industries from the government. Protection of industries. Clear? Protection of industries. Government protection of industries की भी मांग हो रही है. So this is being demanded, protection of industries. Clear? Now, एक तो ये मुद्दा हो गया. Now we are coming to the next part. The third important issue is that in last class on map I have displayed कि ये 13 colonies को लोकेशन क्या थी? ईस्टवर्ड थी ना, याद है? अटलांटिक ईस्ट में. So when the population will grow, what will happen? वेस्टवर्ड एक्सपेंशन होगा, बिकॉज हियर इसके बाद क्या अटलांटिक है. सो पॉपुलेशन एक्सपेंशन के साथ व्हाट विल हैपन? वेस्टवर्ड एक्सपेंशन विल स्टार्ट. सो राइट दिस पॉइंट. थर्ड, राइट, विद द एक्सपेंशन ऑफ पॉपुलेशन और विद द इंक्रीज इन पॉपुलेशन, with the increase in population, westward expansion will start. With the increase in population, westward expansion will start. New states will be formed. New states will be formed. New states will be formed. Now, अब यहाँ पे controversy क्या है? Those states which are the new states, जब यहाँ पे नए states बनेंगे, so these new states should be slave states or free states. किस रूप में establish किया गया? Free state means where slavery is not allowed. Slave states means where slavery is permitted by law. So when westward expansion will take place, this debate will start. That the new states formed as a result of this should be counted as free state or slave state. Now northern states will say that ये state क्या होने चाहिए? Free state. Southern states will say that no, they should be slave states. So read this, westward expansion formation of new states, right? Formation of new state, formation of new state, right? Northern states demanded that new states should be included as free state. Northern states demanded that new states should be included as free state, whereas the southern states were demanding that southern states were demanding that new states should be included as new states should be included as slave states. New states should be included as slave state. Clear? New state should be included as slave state. This is one of the most important point. Now, अब इसके बाद अगला क्या होगा? तो देखो, there are slaves. Now what will happen? One state is the slave state, where slave does not have any right. Got it? Okay. Now the northern states will demand that slaves should also be given what? Representation on the basis of their population. ठीक है? Number of slaves, जैसे डेमोक्रेटिक कंट्री में क्या होता है? 1 person 1 vote, यही होता है ना? So the northern states will say what? Northern states will say that, okay, the slaves should also get representation. अगर उनको representation मिलेगा तो क्या होगा? Slavery पे तो एक question mark तो लग ही जाएगा ना? This will happen ना? Okay, read this. Okay, issue of issue of issue of issue of slave representation. 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 Northern states are saying what? Northern states are saying what? One slave should be treated as one person or one individual. Clear? Southern states are saying that no, one slave should not be treated as one person or one individual. ये तो slave है, and slave does not have any right. Slave के पास कोई right नहीं होता. Got it? इसका मतलब slave के right को कौन support कर रहा है? Northern states. कौन oppose कर रहा है? Southern states. Now finally a compromise formula. Read this. A compromise formula. यहाँ पे क्या आता है? एक compromise formula. और वो compromise formula क्या है? Okay, right. Compromise formula 3:5. 3:5. 3:5. 3:5. And what is this? 5 slaves would be treated as 3. That is 3:5. मतलब उनका वैल्यू थोड़ा सा कम हो गया दूसरे लोगों के वैल्यू से. 3:5 means what? Read this. 5 slaves would be treated as 3. This is 3:5 formula. 5 slaves will be treated as 3. 5 slaves would be treated as 3. ऐसा नहीं लग रहा बच्चों की तरह लड़ रहे हैं? 5 slaves would be treated as 3. क्या होना चाहिए? 1:1. But here 5 slaves would be treated as 3. इसका मतलब उनका वैल्यू जो लोग फ्री हैं उनसे क्या है? कम है. Got it? And now there is another problem that was also very interesting. The states have been divided. एक तरह से डिवीजन हो गया उन स्लेवरी के मुद्दे पे. Now the slaves will do what? If you are a slave and you are in southern state, जैसे एक मूवी है 12 years a slave, उसमें देखना स्लेव्स भागते अपने मालिक के यहाँ से और भाग के उनकी कोशिश कहाँ पहुंचने की होती है? नॉर्दर्न स्टेट्स में. कि if you somehow escape from your master's captivity and if you will reach in northern state, so northern state people are doing what? They are saying no to slavery, so they will give you shelter, they will protect you. तो एक नया ट्रेडिशन शुरू हुआ कि साउथ सदर्न स्टेट से जो स्लेव्स थे वो भाग के नॉर्दर्न स्टेट्स में पहुंच जाते थे और वहां के लोग उनको घरों में छुपा लेते थे. दे गिव देम रिफ्यूज. इसके बाद सदर्न स्टेट का स्लेव ओनर परेशान, यार मेरी प्रॉपर्टी कहाँ चली गई? ठीक है, मैंने खरीदा था उसको. भाई आपकी कार चोरी हो जाए तो आप एफआईआर लिखवाते हो ना. उनके लिए स्लेव कार की तरह ही था जिसको परचेज करके वो लाए थे. ठीक है, कि पर मंथ सैलरी ना देनी पड़े और उनका जो प्रोडक्शन कॉस्ट हो वो कम हो प्लांटेशन. दिस वाज द मेन आइडिया. नाउ द सदर्न स्टेट्स वेर कंप्लेनिंग दिस कि नॉर्थ अमेरिकन स्टेट्स आर डूइंग दिस, दे आर गिविंग शेल्टर टू आवर स्लेव्स एंड दैट इज नॉट गुड. इससे फिर झगड़ा हुआ कि क्या किया जाए भाई. ओके, finally, read this, okay, read this. The problem of fugitive slaves. Read this. The problem or issue of fugitive slaves. This is also one issue. The problem or issue of fugitive slaves. Right. Slaves from southern states. Generally, slaves from southern states, okay, used to flee or escape, used to flee or escape from the captivity of their masters, and used to flee or escape from the captivity of their masters, and will reach to north, and the people in the North American states used to and the people in North American states used to used to protect and and give shelter to these slaves. They used to give shelter to these slaves. वो इन slaves को क्या करते थे? They used to protect, they used to give them shelter. उनको protect करना, उनको shelter करना, ये काम करते थे. Clear? और यही क्या था? Controversy. Right? Finally, solution क्या था? Fugitive Slaves Act was passed. Fugitive Slaves Act was passed. Finally, what we see is that Fugitive Slaves Act was passed. Fugitive Slaves Act was passed. Okay. And right point. According to this act, now North American states could not give shelter to the slaves. North American states could not give shelter to these slaves. And in case any slave reaches here, in case any slave reaches here, in case any slave reaches here, so it was compulsory to return these slaves. It was compulsory to return these slaves to their masters. It was compulsory to return these slaves to their masters. इन slaves को क्या करना था? उनके masters को return करना. It was compulsory, okay, to return these slaves to their masters. Have you understood which issue is the most important issue in civil war? Slavery. Other issues भी हैं. In the same way, in American independence movement, there are other issues as well. But which issue is the most important issue? Economic. Here, what is the most important issue? Slavery. So this civil war was fought on the issue of the slave. 1861 to 65. 4 years तक ये civil war चला. Thousands of people were killed. And finally, after this civil war, what will happen? Clear? Okay. अब slavery was abolished और वो सारे states क्या हो जाएंगे? Unite हो जाएंगे. Clear? So this is one of the most important achievement here. Read this. The civil war ended in 1865. Civil war ended in 1865. Civil war ended in 1865. Okay. And America emerged as one of the independent as well as a modern state. Okay. Independent and modern state. Right, next point. Okay. Having a federal structure. Next point, having a federal structure. Having a federal structure. Right, next point. Okay. It produced the first largest and written constitution in the world also. It produced the first largest and written constitution in the world also. It produced the first largest and written constitution in the world also. Okay. Right, next point. Creation of America in Western hemisphere, creation of America in Western Hemisphere influenced the politics of the world in future. It influenced the politics of the world in future. It means a new country, an independent nation is being formed, and this is going to influence entire Europe, Asia, Africa. ठीक है? It means both sides of the Atlantic will get affected. So formation of America as an independent state was one of the most important event in the history of the world. Okay, so read this. That independence of America was one of the most significant event of 18th century. It was one of the most significant event of 18th century. It was one of the most significant event of 18th century because it influenced the both sides of Atlantic. It influenced both sides of Atlantic. It influenced both sides of Atlantic. Right. It influenced Asia, Europe, and Africa as well. Asia, Europe, and Africa all. It influenced all. ठीक है? Now, देखो, after 1865, this is which century? 19th century second half. अच्छा 1870-71 से यूरोप में क्या हो रहा है? एज ऑफ इंपीरियलिज्म याद है, बताया हूँ आपको, न्यू इंपीरियलिज्म, people fighting for the colonies and all this. And what about America? America is doing what? Is America supporting this policy of mercantilism or this policy of colonialism or this policy of imperialism? The answer is no. America does not support this. तो देखो 1870-71 के बाद जहां न्यू इंपीरियलिज्म का दौर यूरोप में शुरू हुआ, वही अमेरिका बिल्कुल अलग रास्ते पे चल रहा था. Got it? Was there any conscription system in America? No. Was it America actively involved in the internal politics of Europe? The answer is no. So what America was doing at that time? Industrializing itself. खुद को क्या कर रहा था? Industrialize कर रहा था. Clear? पैसा इकट्ठा कर रहा था और खर्च करने का मौका इसे कब मिलेगा? फर्स्ट वर्ल्ड वॉर के टाइम में. सो दिस इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट कि दैट व्हाट वी सी हियर दैट सिविल वॉर ended in this year 1865. When we talk about America and when we talk about the context of Europe, in Europe what was happening? Same time में देखो 70-71 new imperialism. Here we see what? New imperialism. Okay, rise of Germany and Italy. Rise of Germany and Italy. Germany become one of the most powerful country in Europe. Germany become one of the most powerful country in Europe. Balance of power came in the hands of Germany. Germany became one of the most powerful country in the Europe, and the balance of power came in the hands of Germany. Germany के पास balance of power आ गया. कितना interesting है. Balance of power came in the hands of Germany, and what we see after this, in this phase, okay, colonial rivalry and conflict. This was promoted. Colonial rivalry and conflict. This was promoted. और क्या हो रहा है? Fight over colonies. This is promoted. Fight over colonies. This is promoted. और क्या हो रहा है? Aggressive nationalism. This is promoted in Europe. Aggressive nationalism. और क्या हो रहा है? Ethnic conflicts. Ethnic conflicts. What about the minority rights? Minority rights were suppressed. Minority rights were suppressed. And the countries like Britain, they were trying to increase their control over the colonies. ठीक है, colonies पे अपना control और ज़्यादा powerful करना चाहते थे. So the countries like Britain and France, they were doing what? They were trying to increase their control or hold over these colonies. Over these colonies, they were trying to increase their control or hold over these colonies. And all this is doing what? All this is bringing the countries of Europe on the verge of First World War. ये सब countries को कहाँ लेके आ रहा है? First World War की तरफ. ठीक है? Ottoman Empire was disintegrating. Ottoman Empire was disintegrating. You all know this. Ottoman Empire was disintegrating. and disintegrating units were the Balkan states, and the nations were fighting over the control over these Balkan states. It means the entire political atmosphere in Europe is changed. Entire political atmosphere is changed. Now, what about America? America is doing trade and commerce. America is promoting industrialization. America has abolished slavery. America has emerged as a modern nation. America's opinion are what? Anti-colonialism, anti-imperialism, no to racial superiority. This is America. Anti-imperialism, anti-colonialism, no to racial superiority. कोई प्रजातीय भेदभाव नहीं. Okay? No to racial superiority. Do you think that America will be able to generate new resources? The answer is yes. In this situation, we see that America will be able, write this, America will be able to generate, America will be able to make its economy a powerful economy. America will be able to make its economy or develop its economy as a powerful economy. It means domestic capability. America is trying to promote domestic capability. यहाँ पे अपनी इकोनॉमी में दम पैदा कर रहा है. डोमेस्टिक कैपेबिलिटी. ठीक है, जिम में जाके खूब कसरत कर रहा है, अच्छी बॉडी बना रहा है, पावर. और उस पावर को यूज करने का टाइम आएगा ना. कैसे टाइम आएगा? द टाइम विल कम. अच्छा, दूसरी इंपॉर्टेंट बात क्या है? द कंट्रीज ऑफ एशिया, मेजॉरिटी ऑफ द कंट्रीज इन अफ्रीका नाउ वे आर द कॉलोनीज. अब वो कॉलोनी थी. दे वर इधर इन द कंट्रोल ऑफ पोर्टुगीज, डच, इंग्लिश, फ्रेंच. इन लोगों ने कब्जा जमा रखा था. नाउ टेल मी वन थिंग, इफ अमेरिका विल मेक इट्स डोमेस्टिक इकोनॉमी अ पावरफुल इकोनॉमी, तो क्या इस बाहर के देशों से ट्रेड करेगा कि नहीं? यस. द इंडस्ट्रीज ऑफ अमेरिका ऑल्सो नीड व्हाट? रॉ मटेरियल्स and manufacture goods, new market for the supply. But how America will reach to the new markets? All the markets in Asia and in Africa were preoccupied by the colonial powers. सारे मार्केट तो कंट्रोल में है. अब आपके पास दो तरीका है, या तो आप खुद भी इंपीरियलिस्टिक पावर बनो और जाके दूसरे की कॉलोनी छीनो, या दूसरा तरीका है कि मोरल ग्राउंड और प्रिंसिपल. और मोरल ग्राउंड और प्रिंसिपल क्या है? कि हम मॉडर्न नेशन है, हम कॉलोनियलिज्म, इंपीरियलिज्म, रशियलिज्म इसको एक्सेप्ट नहीं करते हैं, और हम यूरोप की दूसरी कंट्रीज से भी ये रिक्वेस्ट कर रहे हैं कि आप कॉलोनीज को फ्री करो, गिव देम राइट टू सेल्फ डिटर्मिनेशन. व्हाट इज द मोर स्मार्ट वे टू टैकल दिस सिचुएशन? क्लियर? Giving validation to the moral claim. America did the same. So in First World War, जब मामला फंस गया, First World War में क्या हुआ? We all know this. First World War, Germany, Italy, Austria, okay, Britain, France, Russia. Italy changed the side. इनकी हालत खराब हो गई. Germany was very powerful. So what will happen? Britain was on the verge of being defeated. ऐसा लग रहा था कि ब्रिटेन हार जाएगा. Now Britain will take support of US. और यूएस एक ही बात कहेगा. व्हाट यूएस विल से? यूएस विल से दैट गिव मी एश्योरेंस, मुझे इस बात का वादा करो, दैट यू विल गिव व्हाट? राइट टू सेल्फ डिटर्मिनेशन. यू विल गिव व्हाट? राइट टू सेल्फ डिटर्मिनेशन टू द पीपल हु आर लिविंग इन द कॉलोनीज. जो लोग कॉलोनी में रह रहे हैं, उनके राइट टू सेल्फ डिटर्मिनेशन को आप क्या करोगे? एक्सेप्ट करोगे. राइट टू सेल्फ डिटर्मिनेशन क्या है? बताओ. अपने बारे में फैसला करने का अधिकार आपको. जैसे इफ इन योर लाइफ यू आर गिवन द राइट टू चूज योर लाइफ पार्टनर, दिस इज आल्सो राइट टू सेल्फ डिटर्मिनेशन. पुराने जमाने में जिसको स्वयंवर कहते थे. ठीक है, गॉट इट? व्हाट इज द राइट टू सेल्फ डिटर्मिनेशन फॉर अ नेशन? अ नेशन इज फ्री टू टेक डिसीजंस about its economic policy, how to be administered, etc. This is US. So why US is saying this? Do you understand? Okay. Now in Second World War, what will happen? Second World War, what happens? Second World War, again Germany, Italy, Japan, and here Britain, France, Russia, supported by US. Here US says what? Give me assurance that once the Second World War will end, you will give what? You will start giving freedom to the colonies. आप colonies को free करना शुरू कर दोगे. Give me promise, give me assurance. और सबसे ज्यादा कॉलोनी किसके पास थी? नंबर 1 रैंक किसका है? ब्रिटेन का। नंबर 2 रैंक होल्डर कौन है? फ्रांस। दे सेड दैट हाँ भाई, हम वादा करते हैं, वी आर प्रॉमिसिंग यू that once the second world war will be over, we will start giving freedom to the colonies. So when the process of decolonization started, when the process of decolonization started after 1945, वैसे तो स्टार्ट अमेरिका के फ्री होने के साथ ही हो गया था, बट जो मेन प्रोसेस था वो कब शुरुआत होता है? आफ्टर सेकेंड वर्ल्ड वॉर. Now tell me, is the role of US important in the process of decolonization of the colonies? Yes. Is the role of US important in the freedom or independence movement of India? The answer is yes. This is indirect international control and influence. So if a country is influencing these things, that the colonialism, that the imperialism, that the process of decolonization started by the efforts of US, so cannot we say that America is playing a very important role? In First World War, by the interference of US, this group became victorious. So the role of America is important. In Second World War, by the interference of US, this group became victorious. It means what? The role of US is important. And what about Paris Peace Summit? I have already discussed with you. Paris Peace Summit. Woodrow Wilson. Wilson's 14-point formula, for which Wilson was given Nobel Peace Prize. Is not it important? Yes. Who had suggested for the formation of League of Nations? US. So the role of US is very much important. So the America as a country is not having significance for its own, but it will influence the entire world. Clear? For the coming centuries. And what about our constitution? The opening words of our preamble, we the people of India, has taken from American Constitution. We the people of America, वहीं से हमने क्या लिया? We the people of India. It means when we say that we the people of India, we are saying that the sovereignty lies in the people. We are talking about the popular sovereignty. So this idea we have taken from where? We have taken from the Constitution of America. So this American independence movement, the Constitution in America, it also has an important impact on the constitutional development of many countries of the world, including India. And the opening words of our Constitution indicates the same. Clear? And what about Cold War? When Second World War ends, after this, what we see? Cold War start. And Cold War is what? Ideological conflict. Ideological conflict. It is a state of indirect war between US and USSR. So this entire period from 1945 to 1991 is the period of Cold War. Clear? And in this Cold War, what we see? That US plays a very important role. USSR plays a very important role. So in Cold War politics also, we see US is one part in this Cold War politics. And finally, what happens? Disintegration of USSR. यहाँ क्या हो जाता है? Disintegration of USSR. So between this period, the world was bipolar world. After 1991, the world will become what? Unipolar. And this single pole was US, unipolar. अब चीजें बदल गई, मल्टीपोलैरिटी और उससे भी आगे हम पहुंच चुके हैं, IR में देखेंगे, right? So this is what unipolar world, and US is one pole. Clear? So can we say that American Revolution, American independence movement, it was significant? Okay. It has important contribution in the world. It will influence the coming generations. Okay. It influenced many years, centuries to come. Yes, it has important significance. Now write a question. Question is, discuss about the significance of American War of Independence. Significance. देखो, impact. There is a short-term impact and long-term impact. Significance includes long-term impact as well. Got it? Significance of American War of Independence. Right, next question. Discuss अबाउट द सिग्निफिकेंस ऑफ फ्रेंच रिवॉल्यूशन। फ्रेंच रिवॉल्यूशन में केवल वहीं पे नहीं रुकना है, सिग्निफिकेंस की बात कर रहा हूं। यू विल डिस्कस अबाउट द लॉन्ग टर्म इम्पैक्ट ऑल्सो, डिस्कस अबाउट द सिग्निफिकेंस ऑफ, ओके, फ्रेंच रिवॉल्यूशन, राइट। नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन, डिस्कस डिस्कस discuss about the significance of the event of unification of Italy and Germany in 1870-71। इसका क्या significance of process of unification of Italy and Germany in 1870-71, what is the significance of this, right? Next question, discuss about the impact of First World War, impact of First World War, right? Next question, impact of Second World War, impact of Second World War का आंसर अभी नहीं लिखना है, when I will discuss Cold War politics तब इसका आंसर लिखोगे, ठीक है ना। discuss about the impact of Second World War, Second World War, got it, right? Next question, right, discuss 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 the significance, discuss the significance of Vienna Congress 1815 in the history of modern world, डिस्कस द सिग्निफिकेंस ऑफ वियना कांग्रेस। सिग्निफिकेंस का मतलब यहाँ पे क्या है कि उससे कौन कौन से इवेंट्स एसोसिएट हो जाते हैं, मेरी बात समझ गया ना, ये मतलब समझना है, ठीक है। डिस्कस द सिग्निफिकेंस ऑफ दिस इवेंट ऑफ वियना कांग्रेस 1815 इन द हिस्ट्री ऑफ द वर्ल्ड, गॉट इट, ओके, राइट। नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन, डिस्कस व्हाई लीग ऑफ नेशंस फेल्ड, डिस्कस व्हाई लीग ऑफ नेशंस फेल्ड, discuss why League of Nations failed, right? Next question, discuss discuss the significance of, discuss the significance of, discuss the significance of Napoleonic, discuss the significance of Napoleonic, okay, or Napoleon's era, discuss the significance of Napoleon's era with respect to, with respect to यूरोप, यूरोप में नेपोलियन एरा का क्या सिग्निफिकेंस है, क्या रोल है, गॉट इट, राइट। नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन, डिस्कस द सिग्निफिकेंट फीचर्स ऑफ नाजिज्म, डिस्कस द सिग्निफिकेंट फीचर्स ऑफ नाजिज्म, राइट। नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन, डिस्कस द सिग्निफिकेंट फीचर्स ऑफ fascism, discuss the significant features of fascism, discuss the significant features of fascism, right। Next question, discuss about the growth and development of Nazi power in Germany, discuss about the growth and development of Nazi power in Germany, discuss about the growth and development of Nazi power in Germany, discuss about the growth and development of Nazi power in Germany, right। Next question, discuss about the growth and development of fascist power in Italy, discuss about the growth and development of fascist power in Italy, discuss about the growth and development of fascist power in Italy, right। Next question, okay, discuss the factors responsible for the outbreak of First World War, discuss about the factors responsible for the outbreak of First World War, factors responsible for the outbreak of First World War, right। Next question, discuss the factors or reasons responsible for the outbreak of Second World War, discuss the factors or reasons responsible for the outbreak of Second World War, factors or reasons responsible for the outbreak of Second World War. Right, next question. Right, next question. Right. What was the most dominant factor? What was the most dominant factor in the America's War of Independence? What was the most dominant factor or issue in the America's War of Independence? Discuss in detail. What was the most dominant factor in the America's War of Independence? Discuss in detail. Clear? Right, next point. Okay. Right. Discuss how. Discuss how slavery was. Discuss how slavery was one of the most important issue. Discuss how slavery was one of the most important issue in American Civil War. ब्रैकेट में लिख लेना 1861 to 1865. How slavery was one of the most important issue in American Civil War. Right, next question. Discuss the factors responsible. Discuss various factors that were responsible for outbreak, responsible for French Revolution. Discuss the factors that were responsible for French Revolution. Discuss the factors that were responsible for French Revolution. Factors that were responsible for French Revolution. Got it? Right, next question. Okay. Trace out, trace out the most important developments that took place between, trace out the most important developments that took place between 1870 to 1914 phase. Trace out the most important developments that took place between 1870 to 1914 phase. 1870 से 1914 के बीच में कौन से important developments थे? Most important developments between 1870 to 1914 phase. Question समझ में आ रहा है आपको? So writing answer does not mean that sit and you are sitting and writing with pen and paper. No, just read question. Okay, try to recollect some of the information. If you forget, revise your notes. Clear? Make a rough sketch कि इस आंसर में क्या क्या लिख सकते हैं. This is the first stage of answer writing. It's not like that हमने पेन पेपर लिया और बैठ के आंसर लिखना. ऐसा नहीं करना. मेरी बात समझ गया ना? आंसर राइटिंग फर्स्ट कहाँ होना चाहिए? Here in mind. This is the first stage of answer writing. Look at the question. Think about the question. What the question is saying. Which inputs you have in your mind. If you are forgetting some points, just revise it from your class notes. Clear? And then do what? Make a rough sketch. Rough note. That in this answer, what are the main points that I have to include. Do this for 2 or 3 times. And then you can comfortably write the answer of any question. Okay? So the answer writing stage first to be completed where? In our mind. Clear? जो इनपुट कम पड़े उसको नोट से रिवाइज करना है. गॉट इट? 2-4 बार पढ़ना है. When the information you will read 2 or 3 times, you will think about that. उसके बाद वो information क्या होगा? Process होगा. And after that, when you will write, that will be the excellent answer. Your first answer will be the excellent answer. Got it? What is the method of writing excellent answer? The answer is first written in our mind, and then it is being written on the paper, and that we have to develop. This world history module is not about world history and what the question will be asked in world history. It is also about how we have to think, how we have to connect the themes, and how we have to write a good and effective answer. Now in the other classes, next classes, what I will discuss with you. I will start next topic, that is industrial revolution. Then I will discuss this idea. ये बहुत important होने जा रहा है. Capitalism. Then I will discuss Russian Revolution. I will discuss what? Socialism. Different forms of socialism. So these 2 ideologies we are going to discuss in detail in the coming lectures. and that class is going to be one of the most important class. So don't miss that, because you need an understanding of these ideologies in the modern Indian history also. Because in modern Indian history, there is what? An ideology, socialism, that has an important impact on the growth of our national movement. Socialist Party, Communist Party, their agenda, their programs. So we need to understand that. Prelims में भी उससे related question आया था last time. Got it? So don't miss these classes. These are one of the most important classes. And when I will finish this ideological part, I will discuss Cold War politics. I will discuss Cold War politics. After this, I will discuss UN and specialized agencies of UN in detail. कि क्या है, ठीक है ना? So these are some of the areas which we have to cover. This part is, ये जो पढ़ोगे आप Cold War, UN, all these topics are important for prelims also. This ideological based debates here, this is also important for PT prelims. तो यहाँ जो आप पढ़ने जा रहे हो कल से, वो टॉपिक सिर्फ जीएस मेंस और वर्ल्ड हिस्ट्री के लिए नहीं इंपॉर्टेंट है. द आइडियाज यू आर गोइंग टू यूज इन प्रीलिम्स आल्सो, प्रीलिम्स में भी उससे जुड़े हुए क्वेश्चंस आ जाते हैं, ठीक है ना? तो कल की क्लास ये ध्यान से, कल की क्लास से ये ध्यान में रखना है कि वॉट एवर यू आर गोइंग टू लर्न दैट कैन बी आस्क्ड इन प्रीलिम्स एज. वर्ल्ड हिस्ट्री प्रीलिम्स का मॉड्यूल नहीं है, बट फिर भी प्रीलिम्स में पूछा जा सकता है. हैव यू गॉट द आइडिया? तो देखो, अमेरिका टॉपिक में तो वैसे बहुत कुछ पढ़ना है, बट मैंने आपको एक आइडिया दिया कि अमेरिका में डेमोग्राफिक कंपोजिशन कैसा था, अमेरिका एज अ कॉलोनी डेवलप कैसे हुई, गॉट इट? अमेरिका के लोग कैसे प्रोग्रेसिव थे. अब ये बात आपको समझ में आ रही है? अमेरिका ब्रिटेन की कॉलोनी था, बट वहां इंडिपेंडेंस में सबसे बड़ा और डोमिनेंट मुद्दा किस बात का था? इकोनॉमिक इशू. स्लेवरी उसके बाद कंटिन्यू हो गया, और फिर सिविल वॉर में सबसे बड़ा मुद्दा क्या था? स्लेवरी का मुद्दा. और अमेरिकन वॉर ऑफ इंडिपेंडेंस, अमेरिकन फ्रीडम का असर, इंपैक्ट क्या है दुनिया पे, ये भी हमने देखा. इतनी ही चीजें हम एग्जाम में रिलेट कर सकते हैं इन आवर एग्जामिनेशन, वेदर इट इज सम एसे और जीएस मेंस, एनी अदर पेपर, प्रीलिम्स. इससे ज्यादा आइडिया की जरूरत आपको पढ़ने वाली नहीं. सो देयर आर मेनी अदर टेक्निकल इश्यूज व्हिच आई डिड नॉट डिस्कस विद यू. जैसे यहाँ पे कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन, अमेरिकन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन, वो भी मैं डिस्कस कर सकता था, बट पॉलिटी में पढ़ना है उसको. अमेरिकन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन, ब्रिटिश कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन, इंडियन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन, उनमें कंपैरिजन तो मैंने जानबूझ के नहीं डिस्कस किया, क्योंकि ये हिस्सा मैं पढ़ाऊंगा आपको. मॉडर्न इंडिया जैसे हम पढ़ रहे हैं उस हिसाब से मैं आपको ये पढ़ाऊंगा. आई विल डिस्कस दैट ऑब्वियसली. आई विल डिस्कस कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन मेकिंग इन इंडिया, एंड एट दैट टाइम आई विल कंपेयर इंडियन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन, अमेरिकन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन, ब्रिटिश कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन, सबके साथ कंपेयर करूंगा, ठीक है? क्योंकि हमारे ऊपर कोई कैपिंग नहीं है, ठीक है? तो जहां से जो कनेक्शन बेटर स्टैब्लिश हो सकता है हम उसको करेंगे. आज की क्लास समझ में आई? तो आवर क्लासेस वी आर फोकसिंग ओनली ऑन द relevant areas. What we need to understand, what we need to relate, we are discussing only that, and remaining we are leaving. बाकी सारी चीजें हम हटाते जा रहे हैं. ओके, सो दिस आइडिया यू नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड कि इस टॉपिक में क्या इंपॉर्टेंट है. कई सारे बैचेस पढ़ाने के बाद ये मैंने सीखा होगा कि इस टॉपिक में यही इंपॉर्टेंट है. मेरी बात समझ गया ना? यही होता है एक्सपीरियंस, और कुछ नहीं होता. इन माई फर्स्ट बैच एंड दिस बैच, व्हाट इज द डिफरेंस? क्या अंतर है? पहले बैच में मेरे को अमेरिकन रिवॉल्यूशन में जो जहां से मिल रहा होगा पढ़ा रहा होगा. आप भी पढ़ाने जाओगे तो जहां से जो कंटेंट मिलेगा पढ़ा दोगे, बट कई बैचेस पढ़ाने के बाद आपको पता लगेगा कि ये नहीं पढ़ाना था एग्जैक्टली. मेरी बात समझ गया ना? ये जरूरत है. इफ यू आर रीडिंग अदर मॉड्यूल्स ऑफ जीएस विल बी ना स्टेज टू कोरिलेट डिफरेंट थिंग्स, ठीक है? तो टीचर में और स्टूडेंट में यही थोड़ा सा डिफरेंस होता है, एक्सपीरियंस, नॉलेज, कि हम यहाँ क्या पढ़ेंगे जो अप्लाई कर सकते हैं जीएस के दूसरे पेपर में. ये बात इसलिए नहीं अभी आप समझ पा रहे हो क्योंकि अभी आप बिगिनर्स हो. जो बात मैं कह रहा हूँ आपको एग्जैक्टली अपने आप ये बात समझ में आ जाएगी, लेकिन उसको समझने में कितने टाइम लगेंगे? 4 से 5 साल. टीचर के साथ बैठने से क्या होता है? वो टाइम कम हो जाता है, वो बात आपको पहले समझ में आ जाती है. यही रोल है टीचर का. ये तो आपको खुद ब खुद समझ में आ जाएगा. मैं नहीं पढ़ाता खुद भी तो भी समझ में आता, लेकिन थोड़ा टाइम लगता. पहले आप पूरा पढ़ते फिर आपको पता लगता कि क्या नहीं पढ़ना था इसमें. गॉट इट? क्या ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट है. ओके, एनी क्वेश्चन, एनी डाउट, एनी वन ऑफ यू? ठीक है, संडे को हम एसए की एक क्लास करेंगे और एजुकेशन थीम में उठाऊंगा उसमें, और वो एक क्लास में थीम खत्म नहीं होगा. व्हेन आई विल पिक वन थीम ना, आई विल कवर एटलीस्ट 30 essays in one theme. When I will discuss one topic, I will cover at least 30 essays. Number of essays will be 30. और वो मैं आपको बोर्ड पे ऐसे लिखवा के दिखाऊंगा. आंसर राइटिंग का आर्ट नहीं बताता हूँ, मैं आंसर राइटिंग बताता हूँ. आर्ट बताना बहुत आसान होता है. बच्चा ये लिख लो, लिख के दिखाओ, क्या लिख लो. ऐसे इंट्रोडक्शन लिखना है, लिख के दिखाओ क्या होता है इंट्रोडक्शन, लिख के दिखाओ क्या होता है कंक्लूजन. तो हमारी क्लास में मैं लिख के दिखाऊंगा क्या होता है इंट्रोडक्शन. वो 5 पर्सपेक्टिव्स इससे मैं कैसे इंक्लूड करने हैं वो मैं बताऊंगा. एंड आई विल डिस्कस वन थीम एंड आई विल रिलेट 30 एसेस विद द सिंगल थीम. ठीक है ना. तो व्हेन आई विल डिस्कस एजुकेशन, आई विल डिस्कस ऑल इंपॉर्टेंट एरियाज इन एजुकेशन. ठीक है. वैदिक पीरियड हो, नालंदा यूनिवर्सिटी हो, बुद्धिज्म हो, जैनिज्म हो, राइट, ancient teaching, medieval teaching, modern Indian teaching education system. We will discuss everything. Today's education system model, Gandhi's model, Rabindranath Tagore model, Vivekanand model, philosophical aspects in the system of education, education and society, education and economy, education and political system, development, education and enlightenment, renaissance. इतने सारे डायमेंशन हम रिलेट करेंगे. ठीक है, कि आपके एस्से को कोई बीट कर ही नहीं पाएगा. ठीक है. और ये ऐसा इसलिए होगा क्योंकि मैं भी आप ही लोगों की तरह पढ़ना पसंद करता हूँ. मैं हमेशा जीएस के दूसरे मॉड्यूल्स पढ़ता रहता हूँ. इसीलिए आई हैव द कॉन्फिडेंस कि जितने पर्सपेक्टिव्स और डायमेंशंस मैं दे सकता हूँ, उतना पर्सपेक्टिव और डायमेंशन या तो वो टीचर बता सकता है जो खुद स्टूडेंट की तरफ पढ़ता हो, या फिर वो मेरे से पढ़ने वाला कोई स्टूडेंट बता सकता है जो एक अच्छा स्टूडेंट. ठीक है. एक सब्जेक्ट पढ़ाने वाले टीचर के बस की बात उतनी पर्सपेक्टिव नहीं है. ओके. तो वो काम हम शुरू करेंगे संडे से, राइट. एंड यू मस्ट अटेंड द सेशन ऑन द संडे. संडे को क्लास अटेंड करना है. एंड यू विल कीप योर कैमराज ऑन बिकॉज दैट विल बी अ completely a class where we will try to explore the perspectives from you all. कि आप क्या सोच सकते हो, क्या रिलेट कर सकते हो, वैसी क्लास में लेना चाहता हूँ इससे. ये नहीं कि मेरा जो आंसर तैयार है वो आके बता दो, नहीं. आई विल ऑल्सो गेट सम पॉइंट्स फ्रॉम यू. आई विल इनकॉर्पोरेट दोज पॉइंट्स इन द एस्से. ठीक है. तो कुछ भी एस्से के लिए पढ़ के नहीं आना है. कीप योर माइंड फ्रेश. जो भी चीजें आप रिलेट कर सकते हो वो करोगे, और वो आर्ट लाइव में ही डेवलप हो पाएगा, इंटरेक्शन के बाद ही डेवलप हो पाएगा. तो संडे को आप लोग ज्वाइन करना. इंफॉर्मेशन विल बी सेंड टू यू ऑल. ओके. चलिए, थैंक्स टू ऑल ऑफ यू. यस सर. ओके. यस, यस प्लीज आस्क. नहीं नहीं, यूनिपोलर, वी हैव मूव फार अवे फ्रॉम द यूनिपोलर. यूनिपोलर के बाद मल्टीपोलैरिटी, एंड वी आर अहेड फ्रॉम द मल्टीपोलैरिटी आल्सो. ठीक है ना. सो व्हेन आई विल डिस्कस पोस्ट वर्ल्ड वॉर, आई विल गिव यू दिस आइडिया. ठीक है ना. नाउ इट्स नॉट यूनिपोलर. ठीक है. ठीक है ना. मल्टीपोलर और मल्टीपोलैरिटी से भी आगे की चीजें चल रही हैं आईआर में. इसलिए मैंने कहा था एक मॉड्यूल और पढ़ लेना, फंडामेंटल्स ऑफ इंटरनेशनल रिलेशन, क्योंकि कोचिंग वाले मुझे अब अप्रोच करने लगे हैं. ठीक है. तो हो सकता है कोई ना कोई उठा ले जाए. ठीक है. हालांकि मैं आप लोगों को पढ़ाऊंगा. 3-4 months आई एम हियर, आई विल टीच. ओके, एवरीथिंग. और देखो, जो भी बच्चे हिस्ट्री ऑप्शनल के हों, दो स्टूडेंट्स हु आर हिस्ट्री ऑप्शनल स्टूडेंट्स, इन्फॉर्म देम दे कैन join me live in live session on the very next day of the optional paper. I will discuss the entire paper. Okay, so you can spread this message also. ठीक है. सारे क्वेश्चन मैं ऑप्शनल के डिस्कस करने वाला हूँ. चलिए, थैंक्स टू ऑल ऑफ यू. यस अश्विनी, इट विल टेक अ फ्यू मोर क्लासेस. मैं ऐसा कोई आई एम नॉट हैविंग अ स्ट्रिक्ट, आई हैव नॉट डिफाइंड एनी parameter here कि 3 class or 4 class. The reason is that I want to teach with perfection in these classes. Okay, if I want to finish these chapters, it will take 2 days, but I will not finish this in 2 days. Obviously we are going to take 4-5 classes. ऐसा कुछ plan करेंगे because we will discuss in totality. Got it? This is the basic idea here. Okay, चलिए, thanks to all of you. Well, welcome.